what is an experimental film? What is an experimental film is a film that you shoot not really knowing if you are necessarily going to try to take it to festival. You certainly could. Hey Bert Brad, welcome. And it is a great way to learn doing an experimental film, or to try out an idea. Like, let's say you have a concept that you really want to work with. Maybe the script is written, but maybe you're not so happy with it. There's all sorts of reasons why you could do an experimental film. And what I mean by an experimental film is mostly, you know, you're not putting a huge amount of production values maybe into it. You're not putting a huge amount of money. Maybe you're just going to shoot it with a group of buddies that you know that are in the business. Maybe you guys have a concept or an idea you just want to try out. That is an experimental film. I would say, hey, Elliot B. Poe, should you do it as like if you were a first-time filmmaker? Yes. In fact, you know, all those films that people are making in film school, most of those are experimentals. Like, they are just learning how to figure out, are they better at writing? Are they better at directing? Are they better, you know, everybody is having to share a skill level, or maybe you're doing it in an experimental way. That is a whole nother, thank you, Kathy, for bringing that up, because that's true. Maybe you're doing it in a way that is not necessarily a genre that you're quite sure, either you're not quite sure you're going to use, or you want it to be an abstract piece, like a piece that is not at all reality. For instance, you will see a lot of NYU films or Columbia films that are literally dancers in front of abandoned buildings. Oh my God, I can't tell you, when people were sending me their reel as directors, I got all these they're a little more music video kind of concepts, you know, where it's more of an idea. It's almost like they either have a ballet dancer in front of, in or around an abandoned building, and it's beautifully shot. You know, they're working with their cinematography. They're trying to learn cinematography. They're trying to learn editing. They want to see how they can shoot from different angles. So, or your experimental could be something that is just, you know, it is absolutely not commercial, necessarily a commercial film, but it deals with an abstract thought. Like, your first short was all shot in one location and didn't move the camera. Right, like you are going to experiment with a concept. Her experiment would be, I'm not going to move the camera. Let me see what happens when I don't move the camera. I am going to shoot the next piece, the next two pieces. One is being set very much in reality, and then the other piece is going to be completely an experimental, because based on what I'm going to try to do, it's going to be a little crazy. You know, I'm going to have a script, but I'm going to allow for improv to be with the script, and it's all going to be shot in one shot. And it's not like Birdman that way. It's just that the necessity of the medium will be that it's all shot in one shot. So that to me is going to be an experimental, and it could fail. It could fail miserably. It could suck rocks, but I am willing to, you know, as long as I'm going to have production insurance for the entire year, why wouldn't I try it? You know, I have an idea, I want to, and it may not work. I may find that it's not going to work that way. Yes, that would be experimental. Check the chicken. Tim, thank you. I gotta check the damn chicken. God dang it. See, this is why I suck as a cook. I'm a really good baker, but I suck as a cook because I always start dinner, and then what do I do? And then I go sit at the computer and I start writing, or I answer emails, I do some kind of shit, and then before I know it, the whole damn thing is toast. And it is not a passive-aggressive move like Victoria. Victoria does passive-aggressive burning so that her husband will take her out. Oh, you and me too? Tim, thank you. Tim, you just saved the chicken. You saved the meal. That's I'm gonna tell my husband, Tim O'Reilly saved our dinner. Okay, and I'm also gonna turn this way down. So yeah, so what I'm gonna be doing is experimental. So just because you can't think of experimentals as being, is my point, for strictly students. It's for you to try something completely new. And if it was just like you and your buddy and whatever, and you were just doing it, I would say that was it called The Comfy Couch? Or whatever, the Duplass brothers shot some film in one weekend, something with a couch. You're a terrible cook, which is why your hubby cooks. That's nice, but my husband does not cook. He does not cook. So this is terrible. We're down to like I made my kid fried calamari because he doesn't eat the chicken. Nice to have a hubby cook, right? I so wish. It ain't happening. He buys things from Costco that he can just eat out of the tub because he gets home late. I'm trying to be healthy, people, so I'm working this chicken program. Okay, so back to the point, which is you really do not have to, even pros will do experimentals. They will try something that's completely off base or just like try a new concept, and then they actually use some of those experimentals as almost like a teaser reel for a concept that they may try to sell too. So experimental film covers a huge realm of what you may consider experimental. Could be abstract, could be something you're trying to learn with, or could just be trying to, like, well, I got a really bizarre idea here. I'm going to try out, see if it works or it doesn't work. You can do an experimental with your iPhone. Hey Jason, welcome. Nice to see you. So my point is, if you look at it and if you say to yourself, this is going to be experimental, you're going to take a lot of pressure off of yourself as well if you want to just try something new. And so that it should give yourself confidence that, hey, I'm not thinking about this thing going anywhere. I just want to see what the hell is going to happen if I shoot it in this manner. And in that way, look, I look like a pothead. Okay, that way I can find out, do I really want to pursue this in another vein? There are a lot of films that, like, I think Seth Rogen shot a series of experimental films, and then he took those concepts, and I think that end of the earth, the end of whatever the world, that thing had an experimental shot first. They did that and then took that concept and were able to get funding and sell it to a studio idea. So experimentals can be a wide variety. Have you guys thought of something that you want to shoot? Does this at all help that you may think to yourself, hey, because sometimes people don't want to produce things, or they don't want to write things because they say to themselves, oh, it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be good enough, it's not going to be something I can sell, it's not going to be anything people are going to, respect. And if you maybe just put this in your mind and go, hey, you know what? Damn it, I'm going to shoot something experimental here. It takes a lot of pressure off of yourself to think, oh, this has to be perfect, this has to be something that's going to be amazing, and you'd be surprised because it may turn out to be something really, really amazing. So that was my point of my scope tonight. Does anybody have any questions? I'm checking my chicken again. You have some proof of concept ideas you want to shoot with your Sony SF700? Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. That's a wonderful idea. And then you can look at it. You know what you're going to do? You're going to learn. Like my first 3 films that I made, I consider experimentals. We did not have the production values on them. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think you should do it. I think it'd be wonderful. Because if you're not thinking about it having to be a finished product, that you're going to put all this pressure on yourself and say that this has to be something that I feel proud of and I'm going to feel like a lot of people are going to respect the work, just put it out. Yeah, wonderful, Jason. I just think do it. I mean, what's stopping you? Because here's the other thing. Nobody has to see it. You could do it and say to yourself, well, this is shit. And you don't have to show it to anybody. You could be you and whoever was working on it, and you could all look at it and go, well, that sucked. But guess what you're going to do? You're going to learn a lot from it, even if it may not have turned out the way you had envisioned it. You don't have to release it. This is exactly what Kathy's saying. You do not have to release it. It does not have to leave your living room. Just so that you get it out there and you do it and you go, because what you're going to find out once you've done it is you're going to say to yourself, well, this may not have worked, but these 2 concepts were amazing. You may go back in, yes, use it as a learning process. And especially for people that don't go to film school. Kathy did not go to film school. I did not go to film school. I went for my acting. I did not go for this. It's like you're creating your own school. That's exactly what you're doing. And like if you were looking for other crew members to work with you and you have no budget, you could just tell people, I'm doing an experimental. Do you want to come on with me? Do you not? This may never go anywhere. This may never even be good enough to be considered real. But I want to try this out. Are you game? And you may be able to do it completely by yourself. I mean, those Duplass brothers, it was just the 2 of them doing that couch film, right? And I think about that a lot because I think, oh, I put so much pressure on myself now that I've got a film that's out there and it's, you know, got a really nice reputation or whatever, and now I'm doing the feature of it or whatever. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to be like, well, if I'm going to produce the next thing, it better be really good, like, or it should be a tier above that last one. But I think that's the wrong way of looking at it. I think you got to get out there and experiment, because even if what I decide to do right now, with that one concept of doing it all in a one shot, not AKA Birdman, you'll see once I do it. But if I do that and I figure out it's just stinks, I can go back to the drawing board and produce it as an original series, which was what I was going to do. It alleviates the fear you were talking about yesterday. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. Takes the pressure off. It takes away the fear. You know, feel the fear. I kept, Kathy, when I was listening to it, I was saying to myself, she's going to say it. She's going to say, feel the fear and do it anyway. Who's that? You have a ton of actors friends in LA you want to film a bunch of shorts with. When I get out there, they'll do it. They'll do it. Feed them. You know, feed them. Actors are hoping they'll get real out of it, or if they have nothing else to do, like if they don't have like their next project lined up, it's a workout. Think of it as being a lab. Think of it as being a workshop. And do it that way. I'm kind of thinking of mine as being like a workshop. This could fail, this could suck. I'm hoping I learn 2 or 3 things out of that, 5, 18 things out of it. And then if it doesn't work the way it is, yeah, it's practice too, right? Exactly, it's like practice. It's just like getting together with a bunch of actors and reading scenes, or, you know, putting up scene work just so that you're keeping fresh, you're learning, you're constantly greasing your wheels. Because no matter what you do, you're going to learn something from it. You absolutely will learn something from it. You may say to yourself, this editing software doesn't work for me. I really need to go back and I need to go learn some editing, or I need to get a better editor for this because this was brilliant, you know? One step up from a table read. That's exactly it is. You know, like in theater, we do a lot of readings of new plays, right? Sometimes they go through, I mean, In the Heights, 10 years in the making, that musical. 10 years in the making. Do you know how many table reads they did? Do you know how many rewrites they did on that sucker? So you can think of the film as being like, okay, I'm going to try this once. Let's see how it works. You don't have to release it, and you can go back and do it again. You have Final Cut X, but you have no idea where to start. Well, if you have Final Cut X and you have Mac, pay the $99 go to lynda.com. First of all, lynda.com. God, if I wasn't, you know, I'd put it up like Kathy, but all I have is a piece of chicken to show you. I can't show you. I don't have a piece of paper to write on right now. But lynda.com, lynda.com. The chicken looks pretty good, right? I have to go get a plate actually and put it on. Yeah, if you go to lynda.com, it actually teaches you how. Oh, take a screenshot of that. Take a screenshot of that, lynda.com. Yeah, lynda.com, and there are tutorials. It leads you right through it. So that'll cost you no money. That's the no money. Doesn't smell good for you. That's great. That's great, Kathy. Lynda.com, and also there are a lot of tutorials online, like people that will teach you. But if you have that $99 membership, which I do because I fear everything, so I always insure things. If you have that, hey Ronan, you can go to, this is what you want to do, any suggestions on where to start, acting, etc. Oh, well, Tim, are you an actor? Hello, Ronan. Hello. Are you have you done any acting training? Nice, you'll check it out. You're still a few classes out of your learning in that film school. Okay, all right. But it's free, which is nice, and there are tutorials on Google, but there's also, in addition to the tutorials on Google, if you have that Mac membership, I spend $99 a year to have that, like, I don't know what the hell it is, but at Mac, because I have a Mac computer, and I can go in and sign up for lessons with Final Cut 10 as well, which I have done, and it was mostly about how to do my files, like how to really keep file organization on it, because it's pretty intuitive. Go to Los Angeles Film School. Enjoying it so far? Oh, good for you. Congratulations, Jason. Congratulations. I'm so glad to hear that. That's wonderful. You know, and you are going to be doing experimentals, whether you like it or not. It becomes your assignments. So that's what you're going to be doing. You'll get, and the nice thing is you're going to have a bunch of people who are training with you at the same time, all learning at the same time. And all those films you're going to make is like that. Not really extra type work. You did some community type stuff in speech and drama. Well, I would find the best and talk to a bunch of actors who are in town. Just get on their Twitters and ask them where they think the best training in town is. And then go to an acting class. Get some acting classes. That would be the best way to do it if you want to do some acting. Up your game, up your tier of acting. Find out who the really good actors are. Follow them on Twitter and ask them where they did their training. And find out if they're training anywhere or if there's acting groups there that are working out that you could go and do some improvisation classes. But you're going to want to get a good class that's going to teach you how the acting thinking process works. That's what you want to do. Where are you located? Where are you located, Tim? Where are you? Because maybe I can help you out if you're in a town that I know. Because I started in Minneapolis as an actor. I worked everywhere in Minneapolis. There's not a theater I did not work at. Okay, maybe Illusion Theater. Oh, that's right, you're in Ireland. But where in Ireland? And they love theater in Ireland. They love good theater. And it's not like you don't have a couple playwrights that kick ass. You've got plenty of playwrights in Ireland who kick ass. You know, so go get some good training and train with, and there's people like me that are out there that do private coaching, but you really want to be in a group class where you learn how to communicate with other actors. That's what you want to learn how to do. How do you break down a scene? How do you figure out the who you are, where you are, what it is you're doing, and why? You want to figure all those things out. About an hour from Athlone. Athlone! Rock on, Athlone! Love it. Okay. We'll find out if there's people in your town. And I don't know if you can travel to a bigger city to get some classes, like even on the weekends or something, depending on what your schedule's like. You can try that. Meath. Did you pronounce it Meath? I'm not sure. I think you do. I think you do. God, we got to get to Ireland one day. My father-in-law never left to Dublin. Well, then go to Dublin and get some acting classes. My God, there's a ton. Tim, my mentor, Stephen Mitchell, lives in Ireland now. Look him up on Stage 32 and reach out to him. That's actually a really good idea. And Kathy also brings up another point. Go on Stage 32, go on Facebook, and find out if there's any acting groups that you don't know about that are already in your town, or actors that are in your town. And through Stage 32, which is a brilliant suggestion, and look on Facebook and see if there's like acting groups. Okay, you're on Stage 32, so really connect with everybody in your area and in Dublin and find out, like, if you're going to spend the money to go to Dublin to take some acting classes, find out who the good training is where that's happening. Thanks, you're 14. Oh, stage type work. Sure. Well, if you're 14, you can still do film work. And I hope your parents are into driving. Yeah, so that's nice. Jason Kilpatrick, friend Kathy Carey. Because then she'll maybe get in touch with that other, the guy's name. What's the guy's name? Again, Kathy, if you can put that up. Oh, Jason is supposed to get in touch. Never mind. Yeah, because maybe you could use, Jason, you want to do a little PA work on Kathy's sets? Get that IMDb credit, right? Stephen Mitchell. There you go. There you go, Tim. God, it's so nice to see people connecting like this. Yeah, that would be so great, you guys. Well, does anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I think I need to... You want to see how the chicken looks? Stacking it, racking it, and stacking it. I think it's actually done. And I didn't burn it, so like I'm really proud of myself. So, you guys for the help. Thanks, everybody. Hey, Janice, thank you. We're gonna go eat the chicken, and I'm trying this new thing, guys, where it's called sleep. I'm going to work on it. I'm actually going to try to go to bed before 11 o'clock each night. I don't know if that's going to happen because I'm a late night, Before I met my husband, I would stay up. My husband doesn't grill. Are you kidding? You know what he grills? Hot dogs. Hot dogs. That's what he grills. And then he bitches about the fact that I burn everything else. He has good reason. I have burned some of the nicest things. But I thought it'd be kind of nice to be out here and see the greenery.